And hello, viewers as well.
Hi.
Oh, hello, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm just getting back in time to go live. Oh my sweet hair. Okay. Good. Nothing else can be seen. Everything's perfectly normal. It'll be a perfectly normal night tonight with zero surprises.
Sure.
Very linear gameplay tonight.
Your nose is getting
Get out
longer.
of here. Exit.
Your nose is getting longer there, Dan.
And skip from this game.
Hostile takeover.
Yeah, awesome.
It turns out there was another DM the whole time. It was
Yeah.
controlling Dan.
Surprise! Yeah. Alexa, please stop timer.
It's Alexa. Alexa's been our DM this
Yeah.
entire
Yeah,
time.
you thought it was an Amazon product, but no. There's somebody named Alexa.
There's
Lies.
an
Yeah,
invisible
pulling
hat,
the
and there's like a
strings.
little rat
Mhm.
pulling some hairs.
I'm always fixing my hair. They get uncomfortable up there, and it could probably hide a person. I mean, let's be real.
Same though.
Oh, I'm so excited to play tonight. Having your viewers pour my coffee. Ooh, dungeon.
Yeah. Sorry I came on so late. I had gotten to the end of one of the storylines in Pokemon Scarlet.
Okay.
And
I mean, that's fair.
the
That's fair.
cutscene was like 15 minutes long.
Oh,
Oh.
I hear you.
So
That's
at 45, I was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Keep going. Keep
Press
going.
A. Press A.
Yeah.
At least you're not playing a Hideo Kojima game.
Oh, that's true. Because
Or-
then it's just an 18-hour movie.
Yeah, pretty much
Or,
it's just an 18-hour movie with like a game in between it.
Nice.
Or Xenosaga.
Oh,
was
yeah.
one- that was a game like cutscene starts. You're like, okay, time to put the controller down, get some popcorn.
Nice.
It's gonna be a while.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they
Yeah.
add like a random quick time event in there or something. So like you kind of sort of have to be paying attention.
Oh,
it's-
yeah.
It's,
Oh,
it's kind of an old game, so I think that Xenosaga was pre-quick time events,
Oh, okay.
and it's a turn-based JRPG. So
mhm,
I guess
mhm.
around that time, the only QuickTime would have been literally Apple's QuickTime app.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they even exist though? Pretty sure QuickTime still exists somewhat. Otherwise, how are we playing all these .movs?
Oh, it
Yeah,
still
probably. Yeah.
exists.
Yeah. I know Flash went the way of, the whatever.
That made me sad because that biggest repository of Flash games.
oh
Bummer.
gosh.
Perpetual security risks, but it was fun, and the
Mhm.
animations were fun to make.
I was too young to worry about security risks.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, ask me about my LimeWire account.
LimeWire. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the good old days, huh?
Oh,
Jeez.
Chris froze.
Chris is
I went
frozen.
way
Chris is
before that.
froze. Chris is just looking
Oh.
into his bowl now.
You
Nice
are.
frozen.
You have a
you
forlorn
frozen.
look into your bowl, like it's empty.
It's like
Why
it's
is all the cereal gone?
Yeah.
or
What
like
is
whatever's
life?
left has formed an image
Hmm.
that you're trying to divine.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's tea
Reading
leaves
the-
in the bottom of it. It looks
Yeah.
like
Tea
you're.
leaves.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Love it.
You don't have tea leaves in the bottom of your cereal?
Always.
Mm. Good
No
for the
tea leaves.
Constitution. Yeah. That's all. By the way, is my audio at an acceptable level? I had to change some things. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Good. Good.
See, the nice thing about using the OBS virtual camera, because even if OBS crashes, I can just switch to the same exact camera without using OBS.
Oh, nice. Good. Ooh.
No,
Oh.
OBS has been acting up on me lately, so I have to
Oh no.
redo everything.
That's frustrating. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Get your life together, Chris.
Ooh.
But you still can't pay me enough to switch back to Streamlabs because there's a reason I
Yeah.
left Streamlabs.
Mm.
Hmm.
All right, let me go through my very linear basic notes and see where we were. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Here's where we'll pick up. I'm sure the recap caught it anyway, but
Yeah, it did.
we are here. Nice. At Atmos Isles. The pirates have inundated the harbor, infiltrated it, inundated with pirates. There's hundreds of pirates flooding the port, making their way through, very strategically through the city, and to the teleportation pads that work between the different plateaus of Atmos Isles, the different wards of the city. Some of our crew was down in the ports. They made their thank you. So our main crew here was sort of navigating the NPC crews on where to go and what to do. They decided to get a number of them back to the ship that were near the ship in the port, make their way through the fighting, take the ship, and fly it up to the plan changed a couple times, but fly it up to this other ward, the testing ward, because there's big hangar bay areas. It's easy to fly in when it's abandoned anyway, and bring a ship in. Some of the other NPC crew was going to go to the teleportation circle, but once they got there, the main crew had gotten through a nasty fight in the academic ward and made their way at the teleportation circle in the academic ward. And before before any backup could arrive, pirate backup, they bamfed over using the pad to the testing area and destroyed the teleportation pad just to make sure that they wouldn't be swarmed with pirates. However, it didn't allow enough time for their NPC crew to get on the pad and go through. So they had fought their way to the NPC, to the pad, and got the heads up, hey, go to the ship. Go to the ship and get brought up. So they are fighting their way back through to get through the port house, back across the port to the ship.
No, Dan, we had said that the ship would come and try to pick them up wherever they were.
Thank you. Right. Okay.
Yes.
So they've assigned the other crew to. Sorry.
I wasn't evil enough to send them all the way back
Nice.
to the worst part of this
thing. Yeah. Oh, hi,
Sorry.
Shaggy Fury. Welcome back. Yay. Nice to have you back. So that's sort of in the process of happening down there. We haven't gotten an update from the crew yet, so they're working on that. Their other NPCs are holding their ground at the teleportation pad in the market ward. Zia, Breatheth, Grundy, Ashavar, Sinister, and Cassius, I believe it was everyone else, our main crew, was following Eden's lead. Eden was tracking the very stealthy and expert fighting pirates, sky pirates, through the abandoned testing ward. She was trying to. They were trying to track them down, but had lost visual, lost tracking on them. But said, "I found something else, and y'all should really come here and see what this." Zia, in the process of helping resurrect Drakkus, suffered 3 points of exhaustion earlier in that day in gameplay. And so Zia paused in a hallway, maybe 2/3 of the way to where Eden was, to rest, not wanting to become a liability in any battle. And is resting in the hallway currently. Also to update the crew if anything or anyone comes through. Crew or otherwise. The rest of the crew continue down the hallway. I think that's where we left off. So here we are. Let me see if I can get some. I'm really not sure what to do with ambient music for this. I'm gonna go with like a cave vibe because they do. It's not a cave. It's refined stone, cut and everything else, but it's way in the depths of the flying city of Atmos Isles. So we'll just do the old classic damp cave here.
Everyone loves a good damp cave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey. Episode
sorry.
69 was 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Episode 69 is every episode in my heart.
Nice. Awesome.
I'm still not convinced that the pirates are actually trying to drop the city and there's something hanky going on, just for the record.
Oh, we
Okay.
did find out, just so you know, that these pirates are not with the main forces. They're like rogue
Oh,
pirates.
okay. Rogue pirates.
So
Okay.
yeah. What's her fate? Wanda contacted us and was like, "Hey, is something going on there?" And we were like, "Yeah, there are a ton of pirates that attacked us, but we told them we were with Ruth." And then she was like, "Oh, yeah, they would probably do that because they're like not with us.
Oh.
They hate
Mm.
Ruth." So
Okay.
yeah, sorry.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Nice. All right. So Zia, you hear the group's footfalls hurriedly pace away further down this hallway. For everyone else that is navigating said hall, bring up my. But you're continuing through. There's behind Zia. There's a couple of larger rooms across the hall from the wall that Zia is resting on. There's a couple smaller rooms. They seem to be locked up, but they all have large glass pane, like reinforced glass pane windows there, so you can see um, definitely your typical research and development kind of labs in here. But beyond those, it becomes just a hallway. There's no left or right turns. There are no rooms on the left or right. You continue through these well-crafted halls and past those hangars um, until the hallway, the perfectly crafted hallway, gives way to naturally carved walls. They open up into a cave space. Surprise, that's why we're doing cave music. Uh, um, several 100 feet across this cave space that it opens up into. The opposite wall, it's several 100 feet across and tall, and it's sort of a semicircle that you've stepped into. As you look across, it's sort of a flat wall, but it arches back and closes around either side of the hallway here. Sort of a semicircle. As you step in, it's really dark. Does anyone have light in here? I think somebody cast light or something along those lines, or no?
Brilith, if we don't, it seems like that we have enough light. Brilith will cast light on her staff.
Okay.
That will be up for 20 feet. Bright light, 20 feet, dim light beyond that.
Beautiful. As you set your staff alight, the light permeating out slowly in this 20 feet of bright light, 20 feet of dim light. You can't quite make out what's across the way because on that other side of the room where you can see that wall, because there are a bunch of bright lights highlighting it, rather the lights are facing you, so they kind of blind you from what's back there. You can see that there's sort of a wall ish there where the light starts to fade off, but there's a lot of bright lights from across the room that are shining towards you, so you can't really see beyond that. They're blinding. But in your own personal space here, the lights was very dim until you cast spell on your. Do you want to walk in at all, or what would you like to do from here?
So you said the lights are shining towards us from where we're walking?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Are they moving at all, or is it just static light?
Stationary.
Okay, right.
Mhm.
That's what I mean. Okay. Brilith would just kind of look back at the others.
I don't want to drop out of the sky. Let's go.
All right. Brilith will continue on. I'm guessing
Agreed.
probably towards the front so she can shine a little bit in front of everyone.
Randy, Ashvar, Head, Sinister, Cassius, of course, will do the same. As you begin walking towards those lights, you find quickly there's several hundred feet away, but you begin seeing that while it's a natural cave floor, but it's relatively smooth. But as you take another 10, 15 feet of steps worth in, see a stone structure, maybe 3 feet tall, come into light. Would you like to take a closer look? 3 feet tall, looks maybe 3 feet wide. Not sure how far in it goes. It goes into the dark.
Relith will step closer.
Take a couple steps closer and see the end of this now clearly stone coffin.
Oh. Um. Is there any writing on the stone, Dan?
Um, let's see. You can make a perception or investigation check if you'd like.
Sure. Let's get out my d20. Ooh. We'll go
Juicy.
with investigation.
Nice.
24.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. You take a close look, and while there is a lot of detail put into the shaping of the stone coffin, it's seen the wear and ages of time. These are relatively ancient, up your alley, and archaeology. But no writing, no iconography or anything significant, just decorative.
Okay.
Could we try and reach out for Eden if Eden's here or somewhere else? Mind blink.
Sure, if someone wants to do that.
Eden, can you hear us?
Yes, you're here then. That you
right
with a
by
light.
this- Yes.
I'll be over momentarily. And almost consuming some of the light, the dim light, and the edge of your light, a shadowy kind of forms, and Eden steps from it. Yes. Welcome. This is something unnerving, yes? Or testing site for the UAF. Did you see all the others?
Is that what this is?
What others?
She turns to the side and waves her hand, and some more smoke trails off, and a wave of luminescent bats comes from the smoke and kind of wafts over briefly for about 10 seconds over like a 60-foot, well, I guess it'd be closer to like a almost in a 100-foot area because it only lasts like 10 seconds. And as they little luminescent bats flap their wings and fly over, you see there are rows, like almost like rays of a sun from a single point in the back wall, rows of these coffins. Every 15 foot, there's another coffin, and they're perfectly lined up towards the center of that back wall. You also spot in between these rows of coffins, every 20 feet or so, just starting on the edge of your dim light, it almost looks like a stone pillar in a totem style. Stands maybe only 10 or 12 feet tall, but cemented down to the ground.
Can Breelith take a closer step to one of those?
Absolutely. With your really good at check, if you want to look, it also holds decorative value, but not anything of cultural or writing, of significant otherwise.
Ashvar would look at the coffin pattern. This doesn't seem ominous at all.
It's not relay for relay. Like it's not anything. It's not right. I mean, it's ancient, but it's more decorative than. I, I don't understand why none of this is actual markings. Well, I guess. Why? Wait. I, Stephanie needs a refresher. We're here to find the ancient tech, right? That's why we came down here, correct?
Reports were that the pirates were using from Alley and such that they found ancient tech that has the ability to drop cities out of the sky to negate whatever lets these cities float, because that's a perpetual mystery. Um, so you're here to effectively stop them. I think Ali said like it'd be great to recover the ancient tech, but like save everybody, destroy it if you need to. It's not worth the lives.
Eden, have you seen anything else that would be the tech?
I've only just arrived. I haven't investigated the full cavern yet. Whoever these pirates are, they doubled and tripled back. It was quite a bit to track them here.
Relith is going to just see what my light. Okay, Relith's going to cast light on something just like randomly on something that someone is holding or like with the group.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that would be, but she's going to do that and be like, here, and take her staff and just start looking around the edges of the wall for another doorway or something that will lead somewhere else.
Very slight hiccup. I think light stops when you cast it on something else. Because
Okay,
it's a
that
cantrip,
makes sense.
I think it's just one.
Okay. I wasn't sure how that worked. Okay, well then she would just take the staff and just start looking without doing that then.
Okay. So you're just, where would you like to walk? There's probably another 200 feet to that back wall where the lights are at least. And it's probably maybe 300 feet wide space.
She would just try to find the nearest wall and just try to work around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Grundy, what would you like to do as Brios begins doing this?
Well, as seeing as everybody, well, we've lost our light, I'm gonna can't use cantrip and light up a torch. That way, you know, anybody that can't see in the dark like I can actually see. And I actually would like to have a little peek at the coffin myself to see if any of them have been, well, actually the coffins, see if any of them have been disturbed within the last few minutes.
Okay. Yeah, go and make an investigation check if you.
Oh, I can't see in the dark.
Yeah.
I'll hand you the torch.
You realize after a moment when Brios walks away, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
What's happening?
Ooh, even on a 0, I got a 17.
Nice. Beautiful. Thank goodness. All right. You take a careful look and you can tell definitively that these have not been disturbed in an exceptionally long time.
Yeah.
Centuries at a
So
minimum.
whatever the pirates were doing doesn't seem to be involving these coffins. And I'm assuming with that, same with the pillars that are the totems that are going around.
Correct. Mm-hmm. You take a careful look.
And what do I see towards the center of the room? Is it just like a blank dais, or?
You see all of this, all these coffins, all these pillars, all the way back towards the center of that back wall, to flat wall on the opposite side.
Oh,
And
it's
you
a
can
flat
only,
wall.
yeah, it's like a semicircle. That's flat, and then it kind of is the other half is a half of a circle back to the hallway that you came from. So you only know there's a wall there because these blinding lights that are shining at you eventually like cast off enough where you can see near the ceiling, you know, a couple 100 feet up. But there's a wall there that's behind those lights. Eden, I guess, I can't get much closer to the lights. daylight, simple light.
That's weird.
I mean, if we can turn them off or turn them away, get a bit closer. But it is rather strange that. I mean, daylight is a much more powerful spell, but I don't know. Places fills me
Once
with a
Eden
sense of
finishes
unease.
talking, Ashavar just says okay and starts walking towards the daylight to try and turn it off.
Okay. I'll just kind of put on pause what Sinister. Cassius and Sinister are just going to kind of go along with things for today since we don't have their players.
Yeah.
So Ashavar, you begin walking over. Grundy, you've sort of assessed these things. What would you like to do as you see Ashavar? Just to place you in this space, if you're going with her or not.
Well, seeing as the investigation, just upon inspecting these coffins, I don't see anything. I'm gonna walk along with Ashvar to see what it's on that side where the wall is. So I'll and help with the lights if I can.
Okay, so heading with Ashavar to see what's on the wall. Okay. All right. So around the time, let's see, Brelith, you're going around that left-hand wall. Let's say you kind of walked over so
Sure.
far towards the left-hand side. So you're navigating around that as Ashvar and Grundy are approaching the center. Ashavar first. Ashvar, as you get up to these bright lights, they're sort of the magical equivalent of massive halogen lights, where they have a protective cage around them. They're throwing a lot of heat with the daylight spell. But as you step past them, there's maybe only like 15, maybe 20 feet at most behind them. And you were confronted with this massive, massive wall. But encased in the stone of this wall, you see a skull on its side. Probably hundreds of feet tall, just in the width of the skull on its side from jaw to jaw. Yeah. And can I have because Grundy, you're stepping up right after Ashavar sees this. So can I have the two of you please make a perception check? Brelith, you're arriving at that back wall, but because you're along the edge, I guess make a perception check as well, Brelith, if you would.
Okay.
Ashavar? Yeah.
11.
Okay. Grundy?
I got a 6, but I have 3 sub die to burn, so I can burn one of them.
Okay, if you'd like. Okay.
Which one is that again? The
Sometimes 2d8.
2d8. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 6 plus 5. That's still only on 11.
They do just last the 1 month too. I'm sorry. You gotta get them while they're good. You gotta use.
Fine.
I'm sorry.
Good thing I resub.
Yes, yeah. Right. We'll say that was the last one. You've got this month still because you just resubbed today, so you've got one for this month.
Okay.
You didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steph, what'd you get?
22 total.
Okay. So Brelith does see the skull, right? You're near the crown of the head of the skull here. But that's all I mean, it's a really good roll, but that's what you see from the edge here. Ashavar, Grundy, you don't really see anything. I mean, it's tough to take anything else in this moment. It's a really large skull.
Grundy, are you seeing this too?
I don't normally swear, but that's a big fucking skull.
Yeah. I wonder if it has anything to do with the daylight.
I wonder if its body part or if its bones are in those coffins.
Ooh.
Anything for Brelith as you take this in? You're probably 120 feet down from them, but you've got your mental link.
You said it's a big skull, Dan?
It's on its side from cheekbone to cheekbone. Yeah. It's like a couple hundred feet.
Big.
That's interesting, she says in the mental link. And you said it's up in the air near the
It's
lights?
encased in the stone. You've stepped behind the lights, and now you can
Okay.
see the wall. It's encased
I'm
in the
just having a
stone.
hard time getting the space correct. Um, is it off of the ground at all, or is it on the ground? Like is it at ground level?
Um, one of his cheekbones kind of goes a little bit below ground level. The
Okay.
other one goes up towards the ceiling.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
No problem.
Uh, did you want me to come over and take a look?
Well, you are our expert in archaeology. Tell us what we're looking at if you can. 'Cause this
Okay.
is the biggest skull I've ever seen.
I don't even think the giants had anybody that large.
Okay. Dan Breath is going to is going to start running
Okay.
and along the wall to try to still check for doors,
Mhm.
but still running like around to get back to where they are.
Okay, they're up against the same wall you are now. You're just along the edge.
Oh,
So you
okay.
just run
Okay.
along that wall behind the lights over to them,
Yes.
keeping an eye. No doors or anything, just this wall with as you're running past like the forehead section. Again, it's on its side. You're near the top of the head. You're running past the forehead, then the brow, then the empty eye sockets, and then like part of like a broken, what seems like a bit of a broken jaw, like the front of its mouth is missing. The like sides where some of the teeth, and that's actually a little bit further. Actually, I forgot the nose. You're around the nose section when you catch up with Grundy and Ashavar. And with that perception check that you got, what was it,
22.
22? As you watch this and you approach, you see the same sight as them, this massive skull. As you look up above, way up where it meets the ceiling, you see a little difficult in this light, but thanks to these daylight beams here filling the space, something else above the skull that runs the whole length of this ceiling. May I please ask you to do, because this is a bit of, putting something else together. So I guess a quick
Sure.
history check with advantage, please.
Okay. That
Thank
I
you.
can do. That is a I lost it. There we are. 27 total.
Okay, that is plenty to get a good inclination that what you're looking at is the rounded edge of a sole of a foot that is almost stepping on the side of the skull. You remember that here at Atmos Isles, there's a place called the Wanderer's Plea, giant arms outstretched in prayer. When you all went excavating, and you had that vision of Sinister's sister, you found a big cavernous space with giant feet, as though it's an actual full, highly detailed, a lot of magical energy coming from it. You perceived when you were in that cave. It looks like it's the bottom of one of those feet stepping on the side of the skull.
Uh so this is mental link. That's you look up at the very tip top there. That's a sole of a foot. Um so someone wasn't very happy with someone else. Um this is yet another to I mean, we ran into a lot of large stuff like this. The hands, the etc. I don't. Uh, um, Real is going to cast detect magic to try and see if she can see if there's any magic coming off of this to where it would have something to do with tech, with like the ancient tech,
Okay.
or if there's anything coming off of the oh Lord forbid the tombs.
Okay. May I ask what
Caskets.
the how far out you can detect magic? Is it like within a 30-foot or 60
this is
foot?
30 foot. So
Okay.
she would try it here, and
Sure.
if nothing showed up here, she would start walking around a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you make an Arcana check with this? You do detect the slight. I mean, because you, this is what detect magic does, right? You do detect very faint bit of magic from whatever the skull is. But go ahead and roll an Arcana on top of that to see if we can fluff it at all.
That is only a 12 for
Fluffer
Arcana.
tonight. A 12. Okay. It doesn't take too much to also sense that same radiating magical energy from the, again, hyper realistic statue that is the Wanderer's Plea, embedded in the very center of this island. From the foot up there, you're also just getting waves of that energy radiating.
Anything from the coffins?
The coffins aren't currently giving anything. Nope.
Breathe breathes a sigh of relief.
Eden's just going to jump in real quick, if they may. And I'd love I'd love to see it. Can someone put out the lights, please, or just tip them over, or cover them up?
Oh, right. That's what we came here to do.
I'm terribly sorry.
Can an ice spell counteract a daylight spell? Probably not. Daylight's not fire.
Probably not.
Are
But
they on like poles with like?
it's basically, I mean, they look almost like the halogen lights. They're housed in like the semi-sphere kind of thing. You could literally push them down so they're facing the stone straight down if you wanted.
In that case, that I will.
Yeah, we'll do that
Okay.
then.
All right, please carry on,
Probably
Brelith,
Larry
as they're doing that.
Backwards.
Thank you, Ashba. Thank you. But please, Brelith, carry on if you had more while they're doing that.
I don't think that she had anything. She'll just kind of wait to see what happens with this.
May I ask if anyone is updating Zia or just like giving Zia some time to chill? I guess you don't have to. I just wanted to check in case you were later like, oops, we meant to do that.
I guess if I doubt Brelith would have included anyone that wasn't in the room with them when she was talking in Mindling. If she kind of realized that it didn't seem like Zia was like piping in or anyone was updating Zia, she'd probably like reach out and be like, "Hey Zia, quick update. We found about a lot of coffins that are just here in this room, as well as a huge, like 100-foot skull with a foot on it that seems to be kind of rising up to the possibly the something above."
Multiple questions.
Yes.
What's in the coffins?
Well, so yeah, I okay, so they were closed, right, Dan? They were covered.
Yes.
They're covered. So I don't really think that we should open them unless we have to, because that seems to, it's not really something that is really
like
you're supposed to do.
I mean, does it seem like the UAF like killed a bunch of people?
There's no markings on them, so we wouldn't know. I mean, we might not even know unless we open one up.
They did seem
but
ancient.
They did seem very old. Yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you.
Oh,
they did seem very old. So I don't think, unless it's UAF from
Does it remind you of
centuries ago.
all of that like treasure room that we found that was below Wanderer's Plea? Like the one with like the like 200-foot ceilings and like, you know, that was pretty old.
I mean, does it, Dan? Is there a way that I can
I would say it
trace
does
that?
with your roles with history a little bit. Yeah, they're
Okay.
reminiscent.
There's a similarities, yes, I
Oh.
guess.
I guess like there must have been like a civilization or something here before.
Oh, sure. That's pretty much anywhere you go.
Yeah, but it's usually
But
not like so viewable
sure. No,
with
no, that's
with
yeah.
hundreds of closed coffins. Is there, I mean, okay, so and then you said a giant 100-foot
Yes.
skull?
Yes.
Couple hundred feet. Jeez.
That's insane.
Probably 400 or 500 this way.
I mean, I guess there was also the Wanderer's Plea. I mean, not to bring this up, but like, I always wondered since we went there, when you turned to stone, it just made me think, it just like how realistic that foot was and the hand, that maybe, I mean, it was stupid. It was a dumb thought. It was so dumb. Like, I don't think a little tiny plant like that could turn. I mean, I don't know how that works. I mean, Cassius would probably know better than I would about like the mechanics of petrification or whatever. But I'm getting okay. So I mean, so it's definitely bigger than like the cloud giants that we saw, right? Like,
Yes, it is.
and I mean, like even celestials, like, I mean, I don't know if they get that big. Um, I don't know. I just like, and is there anything else in the room at all? Like,
Lights, but we were putting those out.
oh, do you think the pirates left them?
I have. We don't really know. We're just gonna put them out, see, because we still haven't found the tech yet. Um,
Okay. So why would putting the lights out help you find the tech?
Oh,
Eden
can
wants
come with.
to. Oh yeah, Eden can't get near the lights.
Uh, wait, why? Like they're just like normal lights, right?
Daylight. No, no, they're magical. Can I mention that?
Oh, that's weird. That's really weird.
Anyway, so there you go.
Wait a minute.
Uh,
Hold up.
Yes.
Okay, you're telling me there are hundreds of coffins
Yes.
and that they have magical sunlight
Yes.
in the same room as the hundreds of coffins.
Looks around suddenly. These lights are they aimed at the coffins at all?
They were.
Wait.
You're about half
wait.
tipped over currently.
What have to no.
It's like
stop,
half of them are
stop,
still up.
Stop. She's gonna say that's not loud.
Okay, guys, stop this.
Stop.
Yeah, just a quarter way.
Are they just tipped over?
They're just
We didn't put them
face down.
down all the way, just enough to give us light.
No, I don't think we want to do that.
Oh,
I'm concerned. Look at Eden. I'm concerned about what's going to happen with these coffins if all these lights go out.
Suppose I don't need them all. Out, maybe just. I mean, I suppose I don't have to look either.
Well,
I can wait out here in case anything happens.
Can a cloth? I mean, can I give you like my cloak and you can go and wrap it around you or something?
I found that clothing isn't quite sufficient now.
Okay.
It's quite all right though. We shouldn't risk something that dangerous just so I can take a look at this. I will wait out here outside the lights in the distance, and if something happens, then we can perhaps take action. But hopefully not. Now, I do need to impress that the pirates I was tracking, this is where I lost them, in this room when it became a natural cave. So they've come through here. So there must be a way to continue somewhere.
Okay.
I just couldn't.
I'll keep looking for a door. 'Cause I don't. She didn't look around through around all the walls, right, Dan? I think she only made it around like halfway through the room.
Left hand side you covered completely, and you've gone like halfway down the back wall, so you've got exactly half the whole left half side set.
I'll continue looking. You guys can do what here. Just I wouldn't put all those lights out until we're absolutely certain.
I'm already on the third light, putting it back on.
Can I?
just had a thought, so
sure,
I
please
might
go.
actually do something. Yeah. So after I like stopped, a thought occurred to me because of how big and how massive the skull is. It's tilted on its side, right?
Mhm.
Can I walk over to the skull and inspect the mouth where the teeth are? Because I'm assuming the teeth are lined up like this, and see if there's a door there.
Yep. May I actually have Grundy, Ashavar, and Bree, let's do perception check. This is sort of, you're getting ready to pull these lights back up, but because you put some down, it's gotten dark enough to allow for a perception check here. Grundy, what'd you get?
Got a 16.
Nice. Breelith?
22.
Okay, and
Nice.
Ashavar.
4. I'm being carried.
Yeah. You're already like, yeah, it's a good point. Getting the lights back up. Grunty and Breelith, you see, however subtle. Well, you look down past the nose. This is again another 80, 100 kind of outside of your range of light, just on the edge. It appears that the mouth section on its side is ajar and open, cavernous itself, and you see soft flickers of light, ever so subtly, coming from all that leads in.
I
Interesting.
think we found a door.
Yes. Perhaps. I do just want to. I'll just be right back. And Brila's gonna go over to one of the sarcophagi, or the coffins, whatever, and is going to put a hand on it. And the other hand, she will kind of clutch the white scarf around her neck that I forgot to put on this evening.
Then you don't have much
And
space.
no, and is going to, with the one hand on the coffin, is going to just kind of close her eyes. Hi, it's me. I am just, and of course, this is a prayer to the Pale Lady. Just curious if I could. Well, I'm really concerned about all of these coffins in this room, and I am just wondering if there's. That's a long shot, but any guidance on like who these people are, and if there's any way that I can help them if they need help, or that's it. That's all she's saying.
Okay. May I ask, is this like that divine intervention spell, or is this just sort of like a prayer as a...
This would be just, she was just doing it as a prayer as a player, okay. I think. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a D100.
There's 1d100 die. There we are. Okay. 56.
You sit in silence as you let your prayer up to the pale lady. You don't hear.
All right, I'm ready. I shall update Zia. I update Zia. I think we found a door.
Oh my god. Okay, you just like cut out. I thought everyone had died. Are you okay? What was in the coffins? Did you turn off the lights?
No. We didn't. I know. I stopped them before they turned off all the lights. Coffins were still closed. I don't know what's in the coffin still. I tried to ask. No one answered. Well, she didn't answer.
Wait, who didn't answer?
It's a long story. Anyways,
Okay.
we found something that might be a door. We're gonna go inside the skull's mouth. Okay, bye.
Actually,
Bye.
once Ashavar receives the information about the skull's mouth, she's gonna stand there and we have to walk into that. Okay.
Love it. Awesome. Ashbar begins to excitedly lead the way.
Rila's going to take her white scarf and create like a hood around her head.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm getting my white scarf.
Okay. You look back, Rita is gone.
Well, that can't be good.
Let's see. All right, so you've been Eden will say right, well, I'll wait by the door then. Leave. Actually, I guess they don't know that Z isn't down the hall. I'll wait by the doorway just to take watch in case anyone appears, but if there's anything in the mouth you need help with, you'll have to push over some lights.
Are the lights all overlapping?
They're sort of all in a row along the wall, maybe like 10 feet apart from one another. They just span the whole.
Okay, so even if I put one upwards, it's still enough light to affect Eden, right?
Yeah. She'd probably 4 or 5 should do. Should give me enough width to sneak through. To be a bit painful, but I'll regenerate.
Okay. Yeah, because the more hands we have on this, I think the better.
How about we could? There's only 3 of us, but
Oh no, there's Sinister and Cassius too.
oh yeah, that's true. If we all take a light and tip it, and then tip it back really fast once Eden's through.
Oh,
Yep.
perfect.
We could do that.
Very well. I'll prepare myself. Maybe over here, away from the mouth, in case there's, in fact, activity there, and then I'll be behind the lights. All right. Give me, I guess, line up, and on count, I'll count to 3, and we'll go.
Yep.
Right, 1. Let everyone line up. 1, 2, 3. All right, and in a flash, Eden is able to shadow jump behind the lights and like way over against the wall to be away from the radiating light. Oh, this you can see like little flakes, little embers and flakes of skin. Oh, it's a bit. Let's go. Please. It's still a bit bright back here. Wafts, embers. Off of their
Ashlar will
skin.
start walking through to the skull.
You walk down the further length of the wall, and as you get to the maxilla, teeth still intact. Again, it's like it seemed like it has maybe a protruding snout originally at one point, the front of which seems just lopped off. Still, from the upper jaw, the upper teeth, which are intact here, to the lower jaw, about an 80-foot wide gap because it's on its side, opened up. So it's about 80 feet. You see a couple of normalized, some like tearing teeth, like we have in the front, but then number of canines that are very very sharp
Mm-hmm.
along further back. Again, it's been lopped off somewhere. So it's not, you don't see like the front teeth, but where the teeth begin on the jaw. That's what you're seeing. So some sharp teeth on whatever this was. Um, okay. Let's see. Who wants to look around the corner first? Ashfire, nice. Go ahead and make a
Oh wait, do I still have my lighted torch? Because I can't see in the dark.
I think so, unless you want to have done something with it.
Nope, I would have kept it.
Okay. Let me ask before I ask for perception checks. Is anyone, or are you, I usually just don't ask and see how it goes, but because it's sort of a big space here, there's a lot going on. Anyone want to be stealthy, or is everyone just like, let's find this and stop it?
Bit
I
of
guess
both.
I guess I could try, but it probably won't go well.
I think Brilith will try to be stealthy.
Okay.
Yeah, if everybody's trying to be stealthy, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, please. That's what I was looking for. So go ahead.
Yeah, if she sees other people trying to be stealthy, she will try to do the
Okay.
same.
Nice. All right, go ahead and I'll have everyone roll a stealth check. For Eden. Steph, would you mind doing Cassius again?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. Sinister, Eden seem pretty stealthy. Ashavar, what'd you get?
Frickin' 21.
Yeah, yes, that's amazing.
I am a sorcerer.
That's insane. That's way to go. Grundy, how about you?
Same.
Wow, right. Beautiful. Probably the two I was most worried about. Brelis, what'd you get?
16 for Brilith,
And Cassius?
13 for Cassius.
Hey, that's pretty stealthy all around. Especially as a group there, you all do a pretty good job. So Ashvar, go ahead and make a perception check with advantage from your stealthy coming around the corner.
Oh, good, because not my strong suit. I mean, I could have metagamed and had somebody more perceptive go around the corner, but that's.
You're good. You're good.
What have we got here? This is a penalty of not wearing my glasses during game. 15.
Okay. It's pretty easy to see, especially being one familiar with magic. The first thing that you notice, carved into what would have been the inner mouth of this creature, is an incredibly intricate, like ritual prep. This looks like it was just in the creature. This does not look like something someone came along and did later. Which of course is probably interesting in itself. This space is effectively, despite that soft glow you saw earlier, currently darkness is all you see. It goes back maybe 100 feet or so. You do, however, hear from the back in the darkness the sound of siphoning wind, like it's being siphoned
Like it.
through a narrow space.
I will go back and inform the rest of the party. I didn't see any, things that want to stab us.
I'll add one more thing you saw, Ashavar, because of the DC you hit. I'm so sorry. There was, there's dim light that you can see back a little bit. You got your torch, bright light, dim light, and again, darkness in the back. But it was like a darkness where you can kind of make out shapes. but there was definitely almost in a dome-like shape darkness that was absolute,
Mm,
all as though perhaps created by magic. Because again, you're pretty familiar with
perhaps.
Smith.
Okay. I will go back around the corner and inform the party of what I saw. Yeah, I think there's some magical darkness back there, and there's a whooshing sound. Um, what was the thing that was part of the creature? Sorry,
Oh, no problem.
I brained.
I totally get that. You're fine. It's sort of like intricate ritual prep. A lot of the line work and the different points, like constellation kind of points, that sort of like a magical circuit board, but like imprinted on the inside
Okay.
of the mouth, both sides, pre-existing to the monster. It seemed.
And there was this weird like kind of constellation looking thing that looked like it had been in the monster while the monster was alive. Maybe.
Like a spell circle?
No. Or like, would I even have a concept of what a circuit board is? Like in this world?
You can just say whatever the equivalent of that would. You'd be like a circuit board equivalent, appropriate equivalent. you know.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be like, it looks like one of those like ship part things that makes the ship's navigation go. You know?
Circuit board?
That would be kind of similar. Yeah. Like a magical, yeah. It's like a ritual circle that you was so intricate it required a city to run across. It's like highly detailed like that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I would relay all that.
How far is the magical darkness away from this ritual circle?
Well, that's again. It's rather than being a circle on the ground, it's just engraved like in the roof of the mouth and along the base where the tongue and everything, the bed of the mouth would have been
so
on the
it's
other
all
side.
over.
Yeah. So it's actually not on the floor. It's more in the creature's mouth on the sides that just take up this little space going up.
And the magical darkness is a dome on the floor.
It's a dome. I mean, as far as Ashburn perceived, it was about 100 feet back, and it looked like a 20-foot dome of magical darkness. Just looked completely dark, like everything around dome shape. So
Yeah.
What do you think, Rila?
Really, I don't know. I mean, that might have something to do with the. I just don't know with the. If the people came through here or if they went through another door, the soldiers, the UFA people.
pirates.
Right.
Everyone else has been evacuated.
We did look around the room and didn't see any other doors. So, I mean, flip of a coin. Let's hope that this is where they went.
Where did they go?
Well, they're magical darkness. They might be hiding something there. And from what Ashlar said, there's air going through, which means there's access to somewhere larger with air, or at least access to the outside.
You hear a crackle as Sinister's milky eye lights up with a deep blue black smoke. You're in luck. You're friendly rock star. Can see through magical darkness. Let's take a look.
Oh, good.
See what those naughty people are up to. Refrains from the guitar riff. Yeah. As you're being stealthy.
Refrains.
Just some harmonics.
Air guitar.
Yeah, just a little air guitar.
And he looks around the corner You know what? And looks back. Oh, those are the pirates, all right. That, that's got to be ancient tech in there. There's a handful of them, but they're working on something in there,
Hmm.
and they're making haste. Is it time to
Well,
rock and roll?
yeah, I think we better make as much haste as they're making.
Mm. Yeah, we don't want the city dropping with us in it.
Yeah, I
We
don't
don't want it
think this
dropping
is.
at all.
I mean, not to be, myself, but I don't think this is time to form a complicated plan because we don't have a whole lot of time. So we might want to just rush them, maybe.
Okay.
Rock on, Ashfar. Wily mouth there. Okay, are you all rushing in?
I'm gonna
Uh
cast Dragon's Breath first.
oh, okay. Yeah, anything anyone wants to do pre-battle to prepare, like that takes an action or something, go ahead and let me know now.
And I'm gonna
Once we
use
go
the
in.
broom.
Could use a little healing.
I don't know if Steph, let me know if Cassius can do any healing. Or if you have any, if anyone has any healing potions to offer or share anything. Grundy does look a little hurt.
I have some very
Cassius-
silly magical items, but no healing
Cassius
potions.
can do cure wounds.
Up to you if he does it or not.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Ooh, they're really setting something up.
I'm just trying to figure out like what
Mhm.
shatter haze lightning bolt by sending. Okay, Breelith in this time would catch Zia up, say, hey, we're going we're gonna be fighting. So wish us luck. um
Good luck.
Thanks. Yeah.
You can do it.
Oh, thank
Be careful.
thank you. Oh yeah, so I'll have Cassius go ahead and do cure runes at 2nd level on Grundy. I'll take him down to 2-level spells, but 7, 5, 12. That's 22 points of healing, Grundy.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Just enough so that your tank can actually tank.
Yes.
Nice. I love it.
I don't think that there's anything. Oh, she'll kind of like clutch onto her scarf. Hopefully, bring me luck. And before they go in,
Okay.
we'll
Can
follow the
you?
rest?
Beautiful. Can you all give me a rough marching order? I know it's wide enough for 2 or 3 people to go side by side if you really want.
I can't see where I'm going, so. Well, I mean, I can see, but not within my magical darkness. So I'm guessing my old buddy, my old pal Sinister, should be up close at least.
And
Ashvara will go up with Sinister, because she wants the command word for the broom is very loud, so so she's gonna wait till they get like up close, and then she's gonna use it and go above the magical darkness.
Okay. Nice.
Okay. Bang, bang, rage.
All right. Let me see then. We're going to have Ashavar up above the magical darkness. So Sinister typically likes to stay back, but they'll go so far with you to keep you like with light. So I'm just going to have them like 10 feet behind you so that they've still got you with light and everything.
Okay.
How about so Cassius will probably be up near Grundy, I think, unless you feel differently, Steph. It's your
No,
control.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Eden is going to be cautious, be back with Sinister. Breelith, where would you like to be?
Feels to be probably towards the back.
Okay. I'll put you next to Sinister. Does that sound okay, or behind Sinister?
It sounds. It doesn't matter
Okay.
to me. Either one.
All right. As you head in and fly in.
Nice battle music.
Thanks. I love this. It kind of it's a good combo of different games and stuff. All right. So you fly in. You hear again this siphoning. As the closer you get to this dome of magical darkness, the more you can tell it is coming from that area. And as you near it, just as you Ashvar are circling above and everything, realizing that these pirates realizing that they've been caught onto, they drop the magical darkness and reveal this. Move some of these things over. I'm gonna.
Paddle.
All right. I think.
You all look thirsty. Thanks, Michael.
Oh no, is that a Red Bull? Oh.
Gives me wings.
Yum. All right. Let
Oh
me
my.
quickly change our names on the thing here. Yes, yes, yes. So hopefully, oops, I'm so sorry. Got the wrong number. This would be 4 wonderful players with us. Just quickly changing the things, Prelith. Next is Zia, her name tags, the layout. Yeah, catches us in here. Top right is Ashavar. And then... Gosh, why is it doing that? Do this. Let's try that again. Okay, left center is Ashavar. And then top right is Grundy. Yeah, so there is light emanating from this arcane technology. Not quite this big, but I wanted to have like an impactful, especially from the top view here, object. Hence this jar with the glowing light. Sinister, that is the and then the bottom right will just be Sinister. Okay. Exciting. So you can see the teeth. Those are teeth.
Very nice, Dan. Very
Thanks. Towards the back of the wall here, you can see a lot of these baddies. Ashvar, this is you up above on your
Okay,
broom.
yeah.
And can I please have everyone roll initiative as combat has struck? And then I'll go around and ask everyone. Oops. Right. So, rolling for other peeps here. Okay. Breelith, what did you get?
Breelith got a 20 total.
Oh, okay. Breelith's up there. Excellent. Excellent. Let's see. Okay. Ashavar, what did you get?
I got a 12.
Nice. May I ask what your dexterity score is, please?
14, so +2.
Okay. All right. Could you go first? I'm sorry. Was it 12 or 16? 12? 16.
12.
12. Okay. I'm sorry. You'll actually go just after. Okay. This is. Before that, I'm just doing some of the baddies as well. Okay, Bronte, what did you get?
Got an 18.
Nice. Okay. 18 for Grundy. Here we have Ashavar move. Right, Zia isn't in battle. This is right. Breatheth, may I ask what your dexterity score is, please?
10.
Oh, okay. All right. You still go right after them. That's fine. Let's see. Sinister. That's 15. Sinister. And what did Cassius get?
Or let me see.
Initiative, if you would. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just going through my several windows here. Cassius got a 13.
A 13. All right, go
Yeah.
Cassius. Okay. So, let me make some extra space here in my document. My goodness. Here we go. So, again, to help set the stage here in this moment, Atmos Isles, kind of a second home for some of you, a first home for Ashvar. This is a place you've all traveled to many times over, had a lot of ups and downs here, discovered a lot, met Titania here, and Gabagool, Gabagool at your olive patch or olive whatever it is.
Olive branch.
Thank you, the olive. I can't remember that. And there's family, there's loved ones, there's just innocence here. The pirates flooding this, you dealt with pirates on the upper teleportation thing, and as soon as you mentioned Admiral Ruthlonius, they attacked. There's a lot of unknowns going on. But you do know that these pirates are standing here right now before you with this arcane technology. This is what Ali was talking about. They're setting it up and they're getting ready to drop this city out of the sky. So now that I've got initiative order in place, battle music pumping, check on two things. The first is going to be a quick communication from Kip. I'll probably direct it to Zia because you're all in battle. Zia's not, so mechanically, but also like you're all pretty occupied right now. Then I'll jump back to the second thing. So Zia, you get that message from Breelith that they're heading to battle. And Kip comes in. Right, anyone free available? I could use an update.
Yeah, and Z would basically just say everything that's happened so far, essentially describing that they found the tech, they found the pirates that they're hiding in this skull trying to do something, and that they're about to engage them in battle. As well as I think I had already updated on the teleporter and picking up Vic and all of them, so I would probably ask about that and how that's going.
Right. Well, we're dodging quite a few things. Some of the ships minding us, just letting us be. Others, I don't know if they just. I don't know. There are other pirate ships. They seem to be communicating with one another just fine. But some are breaking off and fighting us. We're staying ahead of them. Our ship's quite fast. I've picked up the others from the merchants. That was Harry. We'll tell you about it later.
Thank you so much.
Shite.
It's completely my fault. I take total responsibility for that.
That was the right thing. If you could see the scene we just saw, if you hadn't done that, I think Vic and the others had moved from the portal. There were just way too many pirates rushing that the teleportation pad. I think you would have been overrun had you not done that. It was the right call. We've got Vic and the others. We're navigating down and around the island now. We shouldn't. We're almost. I can see right like open hangar currently. All right, we're gonna go in and head over to the teleportation where it was down here.
Yes, great. And then can you please send uh Vic and Guardian. There's a small hallway, and India would describe the directions and how there are these two research rooms
Mm-hmm.
that she's currently at, just to have a point of contact, that she's been keeping watch and having the additional kind of eyes to stop in either direction
Mm-hmm.
would be kind of nice.
Okay. Right. All right. We'll be there as quick as we can. It should be long. Oh, shite. All right. Well, yeah, right. Gotta shake another one off. We'll be there soon.
Kip,
Hey, aye.
thank you so much for everything. I'm so sorry about this, and you know, I mean, have you heard anything about your family?
No, not yet. But right now it's about helping you all do what you need to do to, right? Keep this thing afloat. I've sent me messages, and I'm sure I'll hear back once I can.
Okay, I think it would be safer for us, since we've kind of marked ourselves as enemies, to not approach them, but we are gonna stop this island from falling, and they are gonna be okay.
All right. You're right. We've been through, well, maybe not crazier shite, but other lateral crazy shite. So, I think we'll. All right.
Hey, no one's died yet,
Right.
permanently, at least.
That's the end of the communication. It's like, okay, on that note, like, goes back to concentrating. Okay, let's see. So, I would like to just kind of go around and get a quick check on everyone, how you're feeling in this moment. Anything like there's no action or battle. This isn't a surprise round. This is just me doing a vibe check. Like, what are your initial thoughts as you're engaging in battle? So I guess I'll start with Ashtavar. And any thoughts at all as you're like here, like?
Christopher Lloyd in that Star Trek movie, perhaps today is a good day to die. Yeah, right about there.
Nice. That is beautiful. That's awesome. Grundy, how about you?
Crazy odds. My friends among me, and we're in danger. Sounds like another Tuesday. But I would like to stop this island from going.
Oh yeah,
wish
and that too.
Yeah, kind of wish I had gone on the ship before we left.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's brewing. Yeah, that's awesome. Breelith, how about you?
I think her thoughts are just to get this ancient technology. She's trying not to think about the island going under, so it's just kind of this one focus of just getting this and not thinking about the consequences if they don't. And also, her mind is on the Pale Lady since she recently reached out to her. So.
Left on red.
Yeah.
We're all, having these feelings. Ashes is probably like, it's been an hour. I rejoined it for like an hour, and here we are. And Sinister is probably just full on rock and roll at this point. Like, let's get this done. What you're actually seeing for arcane technology looks like a 32 piece Rubik's cube that's sort of twisted and untwisted in different sections, to reveal different whatever's inside some of these different compartments of housing. And there's magical energies that sort of swirl out of one space and into another in this again, like 32 sided, 6-sided but 32 squares of pulled apart in different arrangements. Ancient technology. So it only stands about 2.5, 3 feet tall. maybe about the same. It's like 3 by 3 by 3 when it's not all untwisted in different directions and such. Yeah, and with that, Grundy visualizes the sweet relief of having used the bathroom before on the ship. And with that, we'll take our bio break just before we jump into battle. That's awesome. Thank you for that setup,
That was
Chris. I
great.
appreciate it.
I love and hate it.
yeah, that's what I'm going for. Perfect.
Let's get it over with. So we can go to the bathroom.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, with that, we'll take our 10-minute bio break, about 10 minutes for anyone that is new. We'll have our BRB screen up. Our audio will be hot, so chat with us if you want, and we'll catch you in about 10.
As we're going into battle, I'd like to sing a song. It's beginning to look a lot like Drakkus.
I'm going to put our BRB screen down, but we still have a few minutes. So we can
Okay.
build up the tension with battle maps.
Remember, I sent you a message in Zoom, Dan.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's go take a look.
Let's go take a look at my precious.
Oh, I didn't realize you had made it in 3D, Dan. Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, because I was only seeing the one that was in Zoom and not the other one that was at the other angle.
Oh, on Twitch?
Looks
Yeah.
great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for putting in all the work.
Sure, this was
Oh
like...
yeah, look at that height.
The teeth alone. I just love the detail.
I went back and I was like, assuming this is like humanoid and like human proportions, how big would this thing's body be?
Hmm.
And it's like 1,500 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, is there anything in D&D like base that is even close to that large?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer, as far as I can tell, is no, with an asterisk.
It's Galactus.
Well, there are in one of those like really like old like 3.5 books, like proteans, and
Oh God,
they can be any size.
Don't say that. You're making me feel old. I
But that's
started
it.
with 3.5.
Well, actually, no. I started with second edition. Oh God.
Wait, what year was second edition superseded by?
0.3 was like in the 90s. 3.0 when it was still AD&D and
Oh, second edition was published in '89, and then
Oh.
3.5 and 3.
2003. There we go.
Yeah.
Well, that's 3.5, and then 3.0 I think was 2000. Yeah, that's
Okay.
when I started. Yeah, like I started like around about right before 3 was released.
Yeah, you know, I started with 5.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
having a good time.
But then I started with 5.
You know,
Yeah.
I've heard horror stories about 3.5.
Oh
Like-
yeah, the balance is all over the place. So much so that when we decided to end our campaign, that's why the mission we had in the caverns with the Illithids gave me a little bit of PTSD reminder, because that's how we ended the last campaign I had
Oh.
with the Illithids. Because
Mm.
he basically pitted us against 20, and it was a party of 5. So yeah, we went out in a blaze of glory, and then his kid was born, and then we were like, yeah, cigars after our death. This is great.
Okay, I get that sorted behind the scenes. So, without further ado, let's jump into this fun. Okay, so make sure I counted out my people. First up, this person. So you hear them sort of shouting. One of them's giving orders. It's his first one to go. Let's clear him out. We can get. Look at them. We'll make short work of them. Let's get back. This one. You. All right. I can get up to you, Grundy. Oh, my stars. Okay. So they take out a very clearly magical sword. You don't need any magic to tell, like, that this is... It's ornate, beautifully precise. You hear as it's drawn from its sheath. There's no sound. And perfectly balanced swings around in his hand, in her hand rather, and she begins attacking. 11 to hit. Okay, they take their second swing. Jeez. 14 to hit. Take their third swing. 25 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. All right. That just does a very straightforward. And 12 points of slashing damage. And let's see. Okay, that's nothing else. He does her fourth and final attack. Whiffs with the first two, just nimbly dance out of the way. One catches your bicep a little bit. Not much damage. 21 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. 8 points of slashing damage. They get a second slice in. All kind of superficial, but draw some blood, you know? Please.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, because I was already raging before we went in, so everything's been half, so 10 total so far.
Beautiful. Like, looking past you, scanning everybody. But they don't really say anything else this round. Next up, I'm so sorry, Breelith. There's a baddie, and then Grundy will be after that. But for now, Breelith, you're up. What would you like to do?
Sounds great. Sounds like a plan. Do I have one? Yes. Not really. Let's see here. I want to try this. Oh, that's concentration. Okay. All right. So didn't you say, Dan? I mean, I just wanted to check. I know that you posted about if we do a magic spell, we can do a cantrip as a bonus action.
If you cast a spell as a bonus action, then you can cast a cantrip as a main action. But if you cast a spell as your main action, there's no bonus spell.
Cool beans.
Unless you're me.
Okie dokie. All right. Then I am just going to be able to do one and only one thing, and that is heal myself.
This is you too.
And I am going to... Oh, should I do this? I will wait for that one. I'm going to do Cure Wounds at 3rd level on myself. And that is probably it right now.
Okay. Nice. Oh my goodness. All right. So you can all kind of sense Breelith casting some healing magic on herself in the intensity of this battle. Are they gonna? Let me just roll and see this person's little tacticals. They might share this info. Okay. That first person that went got a couple hits in on Grundy. Sees you heal Breelith. You're too late. That's gonna go off in a matter of seconds. Once it's activated, you can't deactivate it. You should really just go. We don't want to be slowed down. You don't want to die here. There's no way you're getting through us in the next few seconds. And that's just his free action. Put that out. So mechanically, I'm gonna let everyone know to add to the fun of this. You can tell that there's probably some truth to what they're saying. This machine, that siphoning was the machine. Whatever it's siphoning in, you can't see, but you hear it. It's whirring and whizzing. This is a timed battle. Not by seconds, but by rounds. Every round, there's a chance that this activates. That doesn't... Sounds like there's a little time to run after it activates, but you can't reverse it. 3 rounds. If you don't manage anything by the end of the 3rd round, it will definitely activate. Just to set the goal and focus for the battle, too. Okay, and with that, after Breelith is a baddie, and Grundy, you'll be up after the baddie. But first, Grundy, may I please have you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Do. 15 plus a 6, that is 21.
Um, 21. You just save. You feel another person entering your mind and trying to pull some levers, pull some strings, push some buttons in there. But you were able to push them out with your mental fortitude. That's all they can do this round. Grundy, you're up. It'll be some baddies, and then me with Sinister, and then it'll be Cassius. So I know it's a little bit, but start thinking about what Cassius might do. Grundy, what would you like to do?
Okay, so
Right
one
here.
ducked the other, got hit by one, slashed my bicep,
Mhm.
slashed the bicep on the other side. I just for flavor will actually roar like as if I was really channeling the bear totem, and kind of scare the person in front of me, and then I'm gonna take a swing with the scimitar.
Ooh, nice.
So this is 25 to hit.
Oh, that'll hit.
Okay, and I'll do both attacks first, and then I'll do the damage after.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, second hit. Does say 15 hit.
15 misses.
Okay, so this is the damage from the first one, and that is 5 slashing.
Okay. Right, and you take 5 slashing damage. Get them back in a bicep. You want to dance?
Yeah, and then after that, and I just kind of look him in the eye and grin.
Oh. All right. Anything else for Grundy? Any movement or staying engaged with this person?
I'm going to move up and over 1 square, staying within their 15-foot cube.
Up this way, like this?
Up like yeah, right there.
Huh?
That way, I'm not in the way if anybody should decide to attack or provide
Nice.
flanking.
Excuse me. Okay. All right. That moves us on to individual who turns. very piratey, but you can sense already some. Let's see. Would you sense that? That's a. Yeah, I think that they would. Ooh. All right, they are going to. They reach into their pocket and they throw down into the ground a bunch of seeds that seem to sprout a little bit and pull themselves down in through the stone. That's their turn. After that is. Ooh, okay. Two feet right here. They start running up the lower jaw of this mouth, a gate, and kind of again nimbly, very light on their feet, almost do like a tuck and roll, and as they come up out of this, they begin casting a spell. I don't know that anybody has counterspell, but just put it out there just in case. I'm going to check Sinister since I'm sort of running Sinister. They do not have counterspell. Okay. And cast a spell. Lightning bolt goes off. May I please have... what are these? Dexterity saving throws. That would go through Cassius and Brelis. So Brelis, can you make a dexterity saving throw for both you and Cassius?
Yes. Cassius is that a bonus action? That has to be, or reaction.
You could use the reaction right now, but not a bonus action.
So Cassius is going to, let me see here. Charge. Genius. Cassius is going to give himself and Brela Flash of Genius.
Okay.
Oh, you can only do one. I think you only do one at a time. Never mind.
Okay.
So he'll do himself. For the Flash of Genius.
Okay.
I think he has better dexterity. Well, that is a 9, even with his +5. Flash of Genius.
Oh, okay.
For Brelith. Of course. Brelith, that's a 16.
A 16? Okay.
Yes.
Both, unfortunately, are fails for this wizard. However, it's not terrible. You each take 31 points of lightning damage.
Okay, yeah, I think.
As a
never mind.
5-foot wide bolt of lightning, they stretch out, arching between their fingers and hands, and blasts out clean across, scattering off the stone of the the upper mouth of this creature. All right, that brings us over to Sinister, who I'll roll for, but Cassius is next, so please consider what Cassius will do. All right, Sinister gets, I think, the notion that people are pretty strong, machine needs to be stopped or destroyed. I think they're going to, what have they got here? That won't work. Ooh. Okay. They're going to try. Why is that? Oh, at 5th level, Sinister is going to use their 5th level spell slot to cast Shatter on the arcane technology. Recognizing that if it could go off any second, that to Sinister kind of takes precedence. And the machine technically gets a save, but they have anything that's inorganic has disadvantage on the saving throw. Okay. Okay, that fails. So at 5th level, that's 68.
Woohoo.
4, 6. Full 8. So 14, 17. Oh, another full 8. So 25. And 28 points of damage to the arcane technology full on. Okay. Beautiful. And you see some of the little bits of these squares, little smaller squares that have unfolded themselves in different angles, break off and at the sound of this booming shatter, and cracks through the space, doing a good bit of damage to the arcane technology. Just before we go to Cassius's turn, something else happens elsewhere. Zia, you're in the hallway, resting, keeping an eye out and ear out. You hear a siphoning noise. Now, I don't know if they described that to you, but you hear down the hallway, back where you came from, maybe only like 30 feet, just a little bit around the bend in the hallway, out of sight, that same siphoning air sound. You want to all check it out, or what would you like to do?
So from where I am, there are the 2 research rooms on the side that have the larger windows. Are panes of glass that I can see through.
Yes.
So where is that necessarily in relationship to me?
You are, let's see, almost underneath one of the windows, leaning on the hallway wall. Behind you is that room. Down the hallway to your left, like almost within sight, 30 feet to the left, is where the sound is coming from in the hallway.
Okay. So Zia would probably try to be sneaky, but like not doing a great job. Having a hard time having to hold herself up against the wall and hobble over.
Okay. Go ahead and make a stealth check with disadvantage.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very disadvantaged. A 13.
Okay. I mean, you feel like you're stealthy for your condition. All right. And you're just kind of keeping an eye, like seeing what this is.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you haven't seen the ancient technology, however. Are you familiar with the GameCube turn-on load screen?
Oh, am I?
Okay, perfect. Yes. So
it's like 80% of my personality.
That's amazing. Well, you're watching time and space unfold in that way, in these little squares that start creating like a 3D cube. Without the music. But it's sort of folding space. You're watching it warp and twist and pull, and each one forms this trail that starts bending space and energy more until it forms almost like a it unfolds again, sort of in the way Rubik's Cube does, but it unfolds into like a snake-like pattern, like that intro, and creates a frame that connects like a door frame. And the energy inside this space of the door frame warbling, twisting, with just like when these pieces apparated. And then it quickly warbles and snaps to like a really deep black, and then pouring out of it dark black light. Now you've seen stuff like this before down in the Omega Sea. Boom, 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 like dry ice falling out of the entryway of the door, except
It's like what was described by Ash at the island that like came out of the Omega Sea. Is that what you mean?
I think so. This is sort of like when you all dipped way close to the Omega Sea to like get out of that pirate fight when fleeing the thing. You've seen it. The actual sea itself has this look, but certainly like where Ash was would have experienced some of that. Not with a doorway or anything, but like it's that kind of energy.
Sorry, just didn't mean to.
No, that's
get in
fine.
the way of the scene setting.
No, it's good. We want to make sure you it all ties together. What does and what doesn't. And can I share this in Discord? A person steps out, Zia. A person steps out. I'm going to share it to our viewers here in a sec, but I want to put it in Discord first. This is not an individual that you recognize. Okay, that's what I want. Please just not be too large to go in here. Extremis. Okay. And for our viewers, this individual steps out. Oh, twists her shoulders a bit, loosens them up, looks back and forth, looks over at you, Zia, and then looks down the hallway and starts to walk kind of towards you, but not really giving you much attention after that first glance. They seem to be heading down the hallway towards where the fight is. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Zia would yell like, "Wait, stop!"
Just currently, still not past you yet. Seems to be ignoring.
Okay. Zia would try to hobble after, and would mind link, probably with Eden, and be like, "Someone's coming your way. This person's ignoring me. I'm not sure. We have to potentially keep them away. We might have a fight of our own on our hands." Vic and Guardian should be on their way soon as well to help. We have to keep them away from the others.
Right, you send that mental message out. Now this person hasn't quite reached you to go past you yet. But they pause as they take just a step past you. Like in mid-step, and step back and look over at you. That's bothersome. Almost doing a sniff. Bothersome home. Still around. You have it.
Could you be more specific?
Where is it? The Tome of Horrors. Was it you that read it? It's bed near you.
Um. Uh. Yes. It's a long story. Uh. Are you aware of the current situation that's happening here?
Yes, fools misusing ancient technology.
Yeah. They want to sink the whole island. Um.
Such small minds. Here to relieve them of it. Are you the
Well,
one that summoned me then?
Uh. No.
But you've read the book.
I don't. Uh. Well, I didn't read it. Uh. There was somebody else. Who was with us, but she's
Then
not
they
with
summoned
us
me.
anymore.
Where are they?
Uh. On another island. I mean, we could take you there after we stopped the sinking. Maybe.
No need. She begins walking past you. Do you still want to, hobble after? What would you like to do? She's back to ignoring you.
Oh, absolutely. What hobble after? Also, Dan, I'm completely forgetting.
Mm-hmm.
What was the desert island that we were literally?
Well, Muthalani, but also known as McCullumstead. Muthalani
Thank you.
is the older name.
Oh my gosh, I was literally like searching, and I was like, can't find it.
Oh.
And Zia would just like try to keep talking, try to keep her engaged as we're going down, asking about how she knew about the technology, how she knew about the Tome of Horrors, assuming that she's not gonna respond to any of that. And then, if she's being rebuked a few times, she would eventually mention McCullumstead.
Okay. All right.
It's on McCullumstead.
She'll pop. Good. I'll take care of it.
You'll stop the island from falling?
Yes. I'm here for the technology.
And you are?
Drakkus. She continues walking.
Nice to meet you. And then Zia would mind link with Eden. Like, I can't follow them anymore. But they're gonna help. They're gonna help. We can let them pass.
I'm actually gonna pause you to sort of right at that entrance to the cave area. That's probably because you weren't too far, so you get there. And so you send that mind link, like, you can't follow them, but you kind of see some of these, the tombstones, all that other stuff. Like, you see some of the lights, like from the other side of the room, things that everyone else had been talking about earlier. And I'll jump back over to everyone else in battle. Okay, Cassius, you're up. Then it'll be a baddie, and then it'll be Ashvar. But Cassius is up now. Steph, what's Cassius gonna do?
Right. Okay. Yeah. Cassius is going to Cassius is going to move. Okay, this is difficult. So the person that Cassius is beside, he's going to move behind them, or in front of them, or whatever that is. Oh, wait. That's Cassius. I thought Cassius had the. Okay. I thought he had the cape. Never mind.
He does.
Who's the person with the cape?
Grundy has a flapping head. Cassius has a
Grundy.
down.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
Cassius is going to move behind Grundy and this other person.
Okay.
No.
For flanking?
No, not for flanking. No. So just to give you that person that's beside Grundy, I want to get a straight line from that thing to the machine.
Okay, so if you were to step right next to Grundy here.
Yes, get that cape out of the
you
way.
go boop, boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop.
Cassius will step over there and be like,
Apes and
Get it.
Cassius' face. Disadvantage.
Oh, and we're going to go for lightning bolt here. So Cassius will put out his
Oh,
gauntlets.
nice. Yep.
And it's going to go for lightning bolt. So there has to be a dexterity saving throw for this.
Okay.
And that will be for the guy right there in front of them and the machine.
Well, they rolled a 19, but okay, 21 for the person.
Okay.
Does it say creatures or does it say objects too?
Oh, no, you're absolutely fucking right. Okay, it's just going to hit the guy then. Did you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
So I think they succeeded. Sorry, Cassius.
Um. 19. So they'll take 8 points of damage.
Okay.
Like,
All right, and that is them. All right, take 8 points of damage. All right, they're gonna slash in the arm. They've got lightning damage, arcs and zaps over their body, over to their weapon, and back. And
yeah,
Just
that's
leave.
extremely disappointing.
okay.
Yeah, that's all that he can do.
Okay. You don't have a chance. Just leave. Leave as many of as you can. All right, that brings us down to the baddie. Then it'll be Ashavar, but there's one baddie that is going to do their thing. Not that. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, and I can't get to anyone from here. Okay, so they'll just they'll wait here. Okay. That ends their turn. Ashavar, you're up. What would you like to do? You're above the device currently.
Ashvar has just realized that she doesn't have any spells that can affect objects.
No.
Unless Dragon's Breath can. No. It's just a big old cone of cold. But anyway, well, she will give Sinister a grateful nod. And where's the wizard?
Oh, the wizard is this one. Ouch. I don't know if you can see them because they're kind of behind the wall here.
Yeah, I see him.
5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, they're only 30 feet away.
So she is going to fly above the wizard, and she cast what's this? What the Dragon's Breath at 4th level.
Oh.
So wait, what just happened? Okay. So he needs to make I get bonus damage to cold. Woohoo!
Nice.
He needs to make a dexterity saving throw, please, Mr. Wizard.
Beautiful.
And she's she's gonna use quicken spell for the Dragon's Breath,
Nice.
and then once Mr. Wizard makes his save, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
All right. I'm sorry. It was Dex
Dex
save. Okay. That's our wizard friend. Let's take a look. Don't think Dex is your strong suit. What's that?
Oh, and while she's doing that, she's gonna well, before, because her mouth's gonna be full of ice. She's gonna yell at him, "You're trying to kill my home!"
Oh, nice. They ended up with a 16.
Okay, and my DC is 17.
Nice.
So he takes 20.
Ooh.
Oh god, I can't math. 21 points of damage.
Oh, beautiful.
And then what's the range on this? And then since she used Quicken Spell, she's gonna then use Frostbite on him.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Let's see. He needs to make a con save.
Oh, man. 7.
Yeah, that's not. So he takes 2d6 more damage,
Ooh.
which is 6 more damage.
Nice.
And then since I used Meta Magic Feat, I'm going to use my Astral Shard to bamf 30 feet above him.
Oh, beautiful. All right, so that will get you. I'll fix them. Keep floating right above. Here we go.
Basically, I'm going to use the teleportation and then my movement to get as far above him as I possibly can.
Oh, okay. 10,
Is
15,
what I'm
20,
trying to
30. Okay. Nice. Right, because you moved over and then you got this. So, yep, you're 30 feet above right here. Love these risers. Okay. All right.
How's he looking?
Let's see. They're cursing you. Yeah, get up. They're pretty hurt. They're not quite bloodied yet, but that really took a chunk out of them. Wizard. So,
Give him the finger as I rise up.
double birds on the flight up. That's awesome. Okay, moment of truth. Round 1 is completed. The arcane technology is still up and running. So,
Oh god.
we do our first check to see if it activates. And that's, please tell me. Okay. That is about as close as you can get to avoiding a failure as possible, mathematically possible. So, nothing seems to change at the end of this round. It's whirring, it's still amping up. Little arcane energy that's leaving one little port, circling around, entering another. It's happening to a few different ports around it now. Is spinning faster. That siphoning sound, even louder. That brings us back to the top. Oops. Again. Let me think. Their stuff is done. Let's everyone move out. Well, we don't have time for this. And they're going to start walking this way. They're going to take an attack of opportunity from, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So they're going to take an attack of opportunity from Grundy and Cassius, please. And Grundy, let me know what you get.
Got an 18.
Okay. An 18, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That hits. Go ahead and make a melee attack.
Okay, that's 7 slashing.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll give him another 7 points of damage. Okay. Cassius, what did Cassius get for an attack?
27 to hit.
That'll hit.
And 6 thunder damage.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. 6. Okay.
Actually, does he have?
Will this affect the damage? Or is this just you thinking?
I thought he had something that affected opportunity attacks, but I can't find it, so go ahead.
Okay. Take a look. If you find it before this guy finishes his round, we'll apply it.
By the way, Dan,
Mhm.
it's a she, right?
She. Mm-hmm.
She took an opportunity attack from me. Her speed is 0 for the rest of her turn.
Oh, you're Sentinel.
I've got Sentinel. She's stuck.
Okay, well, let me fix that then. So they would have gotten it as soon as they stepped out of your range. So actually, Cassius, you wouldn't get an attack of opportunity, because they would not leave your range. So you don't look that up if you want for another time. But they get stuck right here. They can't move, so they're going to attack Cassius. They get like a really bad pain on a hamstring or something, like they can't move this round. So they spin around, they start attacking. He does a 19 hit Cassius?
Nope.
Nice, go Cassius.
Oh, and I feel bad for him because that actually triggers my reaction for Sentinel.
Oh, nice. Oh.
I get another attack on her.
Oh, go for it. Go for it. Yeah, before I have them continue. Nice.
22.
Oh, I'm sorry. You only get one reaction per round, though.
Sentinel was attack of opportunity, not a reaction. This is a reaction. Though.
Attack of opportunity. If you choose to do an attack of opportunity, it consumes your reaction.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, never mind.
That's okay. That's pretty cool though. Like, you're so stunned you almost got swung at. You're like, wait, what? Does a 20 hit Cassius?
Nope.
Okay.
Wow.
This is the 22 hit Cassius.
It does, yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna roll the fourth attack to see. Does a 21? Let's just get all the numbers around her. Does a 21 hit Cassius? Has to meet it, repeat it. Okay. So his is 22.
Oh no, it hits him then.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that's not a ton. That's 10 points of slashing damage from that first attack that hit anyway. First two completely
May I
whiffed.
ask what type of damage it is?
It is slashing damage.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next one, 7 points of slashing damage for the other one that hits.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, they're locked in their space. They're trying to leave, but they can't. They've been pinned down by Grundy for the round. That brings us to Breelith. It'll be a baddie after that, and then Grundy. But Breelith, what would you like to do?
Please give me 1 second while I get my other character stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
This is difficult. Really difficult. I don't really have anything that hurts objects. Everything is creature only. Even spiritual weapons as creature. All right. So I guess in light of this, I will do a prayer of healing, I think.
Oh, okay.
Up to 6 creatures, so with myself, within 30 feet. But it should be count all of us within 30 feet of her. So Breelith, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I don't know exactly who's there. I think everyone except Ashabar, probably.
Correct.
I don't have any damage.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't reach you, unfortunately. Anyways, but that would be 11. That'd be 14 points of healing for everyone except Ashabar.
Nice. All right, make sure you all add that to your HP if you need to. It applies to you.
14. Let's see, and that was a action, I'm assuming? It doesn't say. I'm assuming it's an action. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm assuming that's an action, Dan, so I don't think there's anything else that I can do other than stand there and look pretty.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. So that brings up all right. The next character, and they are going to take a quick look around and going to, who's this? All right, can I please have Cassius make, let's see, let me make sure they can do this a second time. Okay. Can I have Cassius make a wisdom saving throw, please? This is a charming effect in case that makes any difference. The roll.
Oh, wait a minute. I think it might.
It'll be on the main page there. They don't seem to have
No.
that
Okay.
after all.
We're gonna go ahead and use Flash of Genius again here.
Okay.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah. Which might still not save, but that makes it a 17.
Oh. Okay. Cassius, you have locked in, you blasted your lightning bolt, you're thinking of the next 3 steps ahead to try and manage this battle, and you almost don't even notice the whispers in your head sort of like seeping in until, unfortunately, you have your mind dominated by another creature here that is trying to do just that, undermine your party. Okay. So let me just check real quick so that I've got the wording. So Steph, running Cassius. Let's see. I'm sorry. Because you were in a fight, Cassius actually has advantage on that roll. So please roll a second time and see if that's enough.
Oh. Okay.
That's on me. I didn't see that in the top of the spell.
That is a 25.
That does succeed. After
Thank
recognizing that this creature is starting to control, feeling his arms move and his body move, and this telepathic link forming with this creature. Like, no. He's been through enough where he starts cycling through the skills he's learned to try and push people out of his mind, and succeeds.
Nice.
Okay, that is the end of their turn. All they can do. Grundy, you're up. It'll be some baddies, Sinister, and then back to Cassius. But for now, Grundy, what would you like to do?
Okay. Okay. So Cassius is the one next to me.
Oops, Dan. Dan, no, stop.
Oh no!
No, it's all falling apart. Okay.
Oh no!
Oh,
Epic. All right, let me try and fix this. Let me find you all. Sorry about that.
It's wild.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens.
I'm gonna take a clip of the last 30 seconds.
Perfect. when the island
Just before you
shakes,
dropped it.
things fall.
Okay. Where do you want me to put it? I'll put it in the stream.
Let
Unfortunately,
me,
that's the only place I can put it.
Me, hi. Going away again, sorry. Hopefully this will repopulate
Okay, I clipped it. There you go.
Thank you. I don't know why it doesn't want to do that now. Quick sec. Quick. I'm only going to take a minute to see if I can
Okay.
get this to work. Oh, this is why. I think this is why. There we go.
There we go. Wow. Whee!
Hang on, everybody. Let me just fix it the right way here.
Whee!
Come on.
Oh, look, those two are dead. Yay!
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wait, no, that's one of our party members. No.
No!
This is the, I think here. This is the wizard. Nope. That's oh my gosh. Right, Eden. Shame on me. I gotta make sure Eden gets in on this round. Hang on a sec. We have Eden here. Shame.
Eden didn't go at all last
Me,
round.
she did
yeah.
not. Yeah. Let's get her in the initiative here. She's weakened by the daylight that she went through. She's has her senses back in this dark cave finally. That would be a okay. She'll go after Grundy. Nice. Alright, I'm so sorry. So we were at Grundy before I completely and totally destroyed the the battle scene.
Okay, so Cassius and I were right next to each other. The baddie was diagonal off from Cassius. And then the other person, I guess, the one that was in front of the wizard, is within that 15-foot cube that was in front of me. Excellent. They're still in the 15-foot cube.
The wizard down here. This is Batty. This is Cassius. This is yes, this person is within 15 feet. This one's just outside because they had to step out of your space to get that attack of opportunity that stunned them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, I
he's
broke
still
something.
Okay, so he's still within. He is in a 15-foot cube, including the other guy.
This one's outside of right in front of you.
Oh, even if I slightly turn?
If you went right here, you would get them both in your 15-foot cube.
Then I'll do just that.
Okay. There's only 10 feet of movement. You carefully spin around to line them all up.
So I'll kind of woof, and then do the circle, and thunder wave.
Booming thunder resonates out from Grundy's lap. And they need to do saves, I think.
Constitution save, DC 14.
Okay. Well, they're the Constitution. Sorry. Yeah, Constitution was it or Dex? Okay, sorry. All right. So the person you've been slashing off with, she succeeds. She got it's a +4, it's a 15. The other person, nope, that's not. That is this one. They don't have a very good. Okay, that is a 14. Does that was that a success or a failure? I can't remember.
it beats, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Is it-
then they still succeed, but so I think they take half.
Yes. They don't get moved, but they take half, I think.
Takes. Oh, on a failed save, they still take the full. Wait, hold on. When I succeeded. Hold on a second. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, they take half. So 6 thunder damage each,
Okay. Nice. Nice.
and they're
Uh,
deafened.
Oh, okay.
As far as I know.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
wait.
double check.
Let me read.
That might just be a failure, but check it out. Let me know.
No, they're good.
Okay. All right, 6
I
off
mean,
of
it's a
them.
thunderous boom, so I think we're all like reeling from that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have I been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Well, I've been missing one of the enemies too, not on the thing. So I guess that'll even it out for Eden. But they jump in, watching along with Eden. I won't turn this on. Okay. So boom, action. Anything else for Grundy this turn? You've got 20 feet of movement left too, if that matters.
Who's the one right in front of the wizard? In front of Eden.
All right, this is Eden. This wizard. Let's
Is
see.
that another baddie?
It is another baddie. Yep.
Mhm. Skip that.
Oh, the wizard got eat.
Still reading, sorry.
No, you're fine. That's me cleaning up the disaster of a mess I made. Here.
Spell. You said
Okay.
spells cast as a bonus action.
If you want to cast the spell as an action, it can only be a cantrip after. So you can cast the spell as a bonus action, and then if you want to
Okay.
cast another one as an action, it has to be a cantrip. But if you cast the spell as an action,
so-
there's no bonus spell, no bonus action.
So okay. So that spell would be the bonus action then.
Only if
I
it says
can
it's a
use-
bonus. It says
okay,
it.
so-
Yeah, I
okay,
think that
so
one uses an action.
Yeah, that uses an action. Okay. All right. So there's not much for me to do but raise my shield.
Okay, you guard yourself, prepared for the next attack.
Yeah. One eye on each. The guys to either left and right of me.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay, well, the two newcomers come in. Eden. All right. What can Eden do here? Let me see what they have for. I have this open. Okay, what do you have, Eden, that can do? Oh, okay, they do have. Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Eden, please, can you get up there? You know what? Eden uses their bonus, so they can use their bonus action to shift. They shift into a flock of bats and fly, because that'll get them 50 feet, 5, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 to get up to the device here. And then meld back into Eden. Some of the bats take the form of a great sword. She grabs a bat and becomes a handle and pulls a great sword off of her back and brings it straight down onto this ancient technology. All right, her first hit is a 28, so that hits. We'll do damage in a second. She has a second attack, which is a 21, which still hits it. That's its thing. All right. 4 plus 5, 9 plus 4, so 13 points of damage on the first one. Five. Nope, it's just 5 damage. You can't add any more. 86. That's 9 points of damage. For 22 points of damage in total, which has pretty badly damaged the ancient technology. Ian. That was 50. And then okay. It's looking fairly busted apart in here. That's all Eden can do on their turn. Which brings up the other up and newcomer. Oops, I gotta redo my music. Oh my stars. Okay, the pressure is mounting. You know that by the end of the third round, this device is going to activate, and there will be nothing you can do. You can destroy it all you want. What's done is done by the end of the third round. Possibly, and the possibility increases with this second round from the first. You succeeded on the first round. Possibility increases on the second round that this device will activate at the end of the second round, but for sure by the end of the third round. Even these people are like fighting through you now. They're not trying to defeat you. They're not trying, you're getting that strong sense. They're attacking and then moving. Actually, let's see. This wall here. That one tried to leave but couldn't, thanks to Grundy. Eden smashing away. Oh, thank you, Dory Pales. Thank you for the raid. Yay! Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hope you're having a lovely evening. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So this brings forth this other individual. Also now looking at his friend. That's a wizard. That's the other person. So they're just 5, 10, 15, 20. They're going to walk past Sinister. 25, 30. They're going to walk around behind Sinister on their way out, and they're going to attack.
Oh.
Mhm.
Thunder.
Oh, it's exciting. Sinister, that hits. That's 23. That's 21. How many do they have? Jeez, well that's 28. So with their great sword pulled from their back, they slash down at Sinister. 3 times, hitting each time. Okay. Oh, good. Low rolls. Good. All right, 2 1s. That's awesome. That's what I like to see. So 7 points of damage. Bring up their health. You're at 57, so he takes 7 points of damage. Or sweet precious Sinister on the first attack. Nope, that's a 6 and a 5. Okay. 11 plus 5, so 16 points of damage on the second one. 46. And lastly, with the third slash, for 7 plus 5, so 12 points of damage on the last one. Bring them. So Sinister's looking hurt, bloodied probably, but not terrible. Maybe around half health or so. 3, 4. So not quite down to half health, but they're looking pretty damaged. You can see this champion is doing this and like turning to continue to walk, so they're not a continued threat per se. All right, with that, that's going to move us from that individual down to the next one. But we're actually, yeah, you know what? They're all fleeing, so let's just have them do their thing. That's All right. Oh no, wait. We're not. We haven't come back around to Grundy. Still don't have reaction. 5, 10. Well, they're gonna get up next to Sinister on their way out, and they're going to cast Thunder Wave at 4th level. So 1d8 each. That's a 1, 2, 3 on top of 2, so 5d8, and that is a that con save for Sinister. Come on, Sinister. No, that's a 14. Let me just see. Oh yeah, no, there's things much higher than that. Okay. All right, so you watch as they walk up and they try and strike Sinister with this Thunder Wave. They do a similar fashion, a little more fluid than with Grundy's strength, and come together and clap, and that boom comes out again and blasts Sinister against the wall. 5, jeez, 13, 16, and 20. For 20 points at level 5 here. 20 points of thunder damage. Okay, now Sinister's not looking too great. They're looking pretty worse for wear. They've been thrown, boom, boom, slammed up against that wall and knocked prone. Up against like some of the where the teeth would be the upper portion of this mouth. And the battle continues as they finish their turn. That wizard's coming up next, Sinister and Cassius. However, between this turn and the wizard, Zia, you're sort of outside of this space, like across the room in the doorway. And as you it sounds like you were pausing there, right? You weren't gonna pursue them any further.
I think at that point she was just like unable to really continue much further. Like the wall kind of ends as the room gets large, right? And so she'd have to continue around the inside wall to kind of hold up, and so that would be kind of difficult.
Yeah. Okay. You watch this individual walk straight into the room. You see them navigate between two of these rows of coffins lined up, all pointing that center direction on the back wall. And you hear, as she's walking up, Zavig slumbers, and sort of runs her fingers along the stone of the lids of a couple caskets on either side each time she walks by a couple. So there's a deference or fondness, and walks up and kind of steps through those lights. Zia, please make a perception check with advantage as you're sort of in a prime spot to watch this.
A 9.
Oh my goodness. Oh right, because that's a straight roll, isn't it? With
Oh no, I roll it. I roll
even
it with advantage. It's still a 9.
Oh no. All right. Well, I mean the DC is pretty low for this. I'd probably put it around 8 anyway because it's not anything detailed. I imagine you're watching her, right? Keeping an eye on her.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
She's like terrified now, realizing that she just told this random person where Lisanna is, and is just like really, really hoping that she hedged her bets correctly, and that this person will at the very least stop the city from being destroyed.
All right. So you watch the fingers along the stone, and as she nears and pushes through these daylight lamps that are just humming with daylight energy, you watch as smoke and cinders fly off of skin, hair, cinder turning to some ash from the daylight as she steps through, and you hear that sizzling stop as she gets on the other side. The next thing you say after seeing that, let me think. Is that something would be in Zia's? No, I guess I'll let it sit. I don't think you would have encountered too much of that. Okay, so bum 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 bum. Where are we? Here we are, round 2. You see her push through, standing before this massive skull. And one by one, the daylight lights break. Like dropping the space into darkness. Then you see roughly through the you have dark vision or no? Yeah, maybe. I can't remember if you have dark vision.
Me?
Mhm.
Or
Yes.
yeah, yes, I do.
Okay.
Is it ASMR?
So you can kind of
Yeah.
see through the dark to some degree at this distance. She places her hand on the skull, and as she does, there's a low rumbling you hear. And it's not in the ground, it's not in the city, it's the lids on the caskets. And they don't open, they don't slide, they don't burst, but it's as though a seal has broken around where the casket lid sits on each cement stone, the slab, the casket itself. And out of it pours more of that omega, the miasma, filling the ground like dry ice before it kind of pushes out towards the outer part of the room, like toward you a little bit, before getting drawn up toward her and climbing the wall, covering the skull, pouring into the eye sockets. You see this miasma spinning and twirling within the eye sockets, creating little like gellifying and becoming like preformed little eyeballs in the eye sockets. Narrow slit eyes like a feline appear in these bloodshot, grotesque, sort of half-formed eyes. She pats the skull a couple of times in a there you go kind of way, and then starts walking over towards the mouth of the skull. Anything that Z wants to do at seeing this, or is that just sort of like a processing moment?
I do think she would probably want to try to mental message. And so I feel like everybody would probably get like a ding that it had been opened for communication.
Mm-hmm.
But there would just be silence.
We'll feel that the presence, bing, but nothing said. Okay. All right. In that case, what are they gonna do here? Yeah. Okay. So continuing on, this wizard is trying to GTFO 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Okay. They're gonna try and get. I think they would. They wouldn't. Up there. Okay, they're just going to try and line up here and begin casting another spell. I don't think anyone has counterspell, so they try. Can you please, Grundy? Can you please make a dexterity saving throw as more lightning energy begins to sort of crackle and wind along their hands, preparing to cast another lightning bolt.
I yell, "You're a dick."
They've kind of hobbled over after the damage you inflicted. Too. They look up like who? What'd you get, Randy?
I forgot I was muted.
Oh,
19.
Sorry, what?
19.
19. Okay. That just succeeds. So, you, let's see, is it half damage? Alright, so half damage unless you have anything for when you succeed.
Anything but psychic. I've got resistance. So.
Okay. 11. 60s. 19, 21. So half rounded up would be 11 points of lightning damage. And it's that plug your fingers into the outlet sort of energy, that dry, crackling numbness. It locks, tenses your muscles up for a minute, but it passes through. Shake it off. Little arcs between your fingers for a moment. Manage through that giant 5-foot wide lightning bolt. Still on your feet. This wizard's going to finish their last 10 feet of movement. Sure. Hey, wizard, that's Sinister. Oh, Sinister, you're so hurt. Sinister probably gonna heal themselves. I'm pretty sure. All right. They don't have a full-on healing word, but I mean cure wounds, but they do have healing word, and so they're gonna cast that at second level. Oh, I'm so sorry. So what the? Okay, to slide for 7 points of healing. Yeah, not bad. And because that is a bonus action, they'll use their action to cast a cantrip. No, they won't. They don't have anything that, yeah, they do. They stand up, block 5, 10 over here, and they will cast Shocking Grasp cantrip. Ooh, plus 9. Look ahead. All right, let's see what we get. Yeah, geez, a 23, that hits. That's 2d8 too. Okay, what's in this there? 2, 6. It doesn't add anything. All right, 6 points of damage to our friend trying to escape there. The fool. The fool. Okay. That ends their turn. That brings us to Cassius, then a baddie, and then Ashavar. Cassius, what's Cassius got going?
Great. Cassius is going to cast Shatter. When the object.
Oh, glad somebody else has shatter.
Yeah.
And so just the Constitution saving throw.
At disadvantage for the item because it's an organic. That's the one that Sinister.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 6. That's a fail.
Oh God.
And that is 17 thunder damage on the object.
Ooh, nice. This is looking really close to being destroyed.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. It's looking very worse for wear. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Good riddance.
All right. That is Shatter was an action.
Okay.
So Cassius is going to, well, he's in within hitting range, so he's going to hold steady.
Okay. Where's our, who's left? Them? Or, this was the person casting, that was them. So 5. Gonna walk around, grunting 10, 15, 20, because they don't know that he's used his reaction. 25, 30. Nope, they're just gonna be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. They're just running out of there. Out they go. That brings us to Ashavar at the end of round 2.
Okay. So I have a couple things I can do, but I have a couple of weird questions.
Nice. I love
Is the
those.
object really that big? Like, how big is it?
It's 3 by 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot cube. Unfurled a little bit with these little pieces, but no, it's not that big.
So it's something that a person could carry.
It's at a glance, if it's not some weird super heavy metal thing, should be able to be carried. They did bring it down here.
Okay, next question. Given my knowledge of the city, would I know that how far down towards the bottom of the city we are?
You're sort of, yes, you're in the kind of the heart of the city. It's maybe 1/3 of the way up from the very base of the city, but like right in the center.
Okay, so probably not 500 feet
No,
from the
unfortunately.
bottom. Okay, then I will do my second thing.
Ooh,
So
nice.
Ashavar flies over, kind of over and behind Eden,
Okay.
and she is going to also use her 5th level spell, and she's going, wait, hold on. She's I need, sorry, it's good.
No problem.
She's gonna yell, Monty, come!
Ooh.
And is gonna cast Summon Draconic Spirit.
Ooh.
And a silver dragon spirit appears behind Eden. And it has physical attacks.
Yes. Beautiful. You all see this beautiful silver dragon spirit appear behind Eden at Ashavar's beck and call. All right.
And yeah, he gets to go after me, and
Okay.
he obeys my verbal commands, basically.
Nice. Okay. You have anything left on your turn, or do you want to move it to the dragon's turn?
Actually, I mean, none of my cantrips are helpful, so quickening the dragon wouldn't really do anything.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you have any further movement that you'd like to do? That was about, I think, 15
Oh no, I'll just
feet.
stay kind of hovered over Monty's head.
Okay. All right, that moves us on to Monty. Go ahead and do your attacks if that's what you're looking to do.
Okay. Yeah, he has 2 rend attacks.
Oh, nice.
They're not super powerful, but they're something.
Mm-hmm. Device isn't looking that good either, so.
So rend.
Mhm.
My spell attack modifier is his modifier to hits.
Nice.
That is a 24.
Oh, that hits. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not a super amount of damage, but
Mm,
every little bit counts.
definitely. Especially.
7.
Okay, nice. At the end of the second round. Mm-hmm.
That-
And there's
no,
one
there's
more?
One more.
Nice.
There's one more.
Beautiful.
That's a not so good. That's a 13.
13 misses.
Damn.
You get the first one in, and you swear you don't even know how this device is still functioning. This is really damaged. The second one swings, but just as it does, some of those pieces that are rotating rotate out of the way, causing him.
And I'm assuming his breath weapon would not damage the thing.
Probably not. Let's say I think that has to be a separate. Like I think it's the attack, the physical attacks or the breath weapon. I think.
Okay.
I think. But if it says,
Oh no, it says the dragon makes a number of rend attacks, blah blah blah, and it uses its breath weapon.
oh, okay, you can give it a shot if you want. Magic hasn't
nice.
seemed to affect it too much so far, but Shatter helped a lot.
Well, he's a cold dragon. I have a theme. So he's gonna use his breath weapon on it. He will avoid Eden. So it needs to make a dexterity saving throw, DC 17.
Yeah, it breathes over it, but it is creatures like yours. But you see, it kind of ices over, but doesn't seem to affect the actual. Mm-hmm.
Rat. Well, at least I've got some physical something.
Yeah, yeah. There's a frosty chill left along the back of the cave. Whoo, okay. All right, where are we? We're at the top. We're at the top of this round after we see what happens with round 2. Stakes are higher. That would be Hey.
Now would be a good time for Dan Ex Machina.
Nice. It seems like the machine is still powering up, but not activated yet. That one cleared it by a little more, but it was a smaller window. Okay. So I will move through this. Dan, don't help me if you hit this. Knock the effing thing down again, Dan. Don't. But you just don't.
I'm ready to quit the Twitch stream just in case.
Thank you, thank you. This woman pauses, so Breelith and Cassius are right there. They lift their weapon to. They turn and see you, Breelith. They are preparing to attack, and they pause for a moment, and they look over and instead attack Cassius. That one misses. That's not even. Where's the person? No, that's a 16. That's not enough. Nope, that's a natural one. Yep, another 16. And their fourth attack. Okay, fourth attack goes 26.
So I completely forgot, Dan. Well, wait a minute. Wait. I forgot that Cassius has a cloak of displacement.
Mm-hmm.
So the creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against him.
Okay, I'll roll that a second time. So the second roll, instead of a 26, is a 23. This is its last attack. It missed the first 3. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's 11 points of slashing damage for Cassius. Okay. And it glances at you as it starts to run by. So you, Breelith, will get an attack of opportunity. So that's a melee attack.
Okay. So, I'll roll and we'll see if it hits first before I see if I can give some flavor to it.
Okay.
So that's a 23 to hit.
Oh, that'll hit. Yep.
Can she, instead of like knocking him with it, like put it out for his feet to like, he doesn't have to fall prone, but just kind of trip him up a bit. Maybe he can hit some rocks or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But go ahead and roll the
Doesn't
typical
really, like,
damage for it.
hit people. Okay.
Mhm.
6.
Okay.
6 damage.
Nice. Where's my There we are. Okay, 6 points of damage. This is like the lead woman here has been going at it, kind of leading the charge. Breelith, as we transition to your turn, can you please make a perception check? I'll give you advantage on this. You had that moment of almost being attacked.
Thank goodness.
Huh?
That is 22.
22. You've seen your fair share of disguises, Breelith, certainly. People trying to look like other people. You yourself have played Brian and some other folks.
Yes.
It's
Who would ever try and look like another person?
yeah, outrageous, Ashavar. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So you in that moment of pause, swinging at you, and then the moment of like looking at you as they pass by. You see very clear indicators, especially in the way that they look at you for a moment. You know these eyes. They're the eyes of Francis Woodleaf, your troop commander from the UAF camp.
Okay. I'm imagining like there's a TikTok trend where it's like a certain song and it's like if we see each other in a hurricane and it's like everything slows down and like they'll look at each other
Mm-hmm.
To like a duet. That's what I'm imagining. Like just
Perfect.
like a moment of slow mo as
Yeah.
they trip and it's like
Yep. They've crossed paths here. Very clearly, as a pirate woman running this crew, you're a troop commander, Francis Woodleaf, who gave you that book, gave you some guidance.
Well, this is
Okay.
And some moments.
Okay.
okay. This is interesting to know.
Okay.
Yeah. Everyone else knows that it's about that time, so they are, let's see, it hasn't been back around, so they're going to continue along the wall, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 10, 15, 20. They're going to run around the corner. They're going to get an attack of opportunity from Sinister real quick. Everyone else is out. Audi 2000. I'm sorry, Sinister. That does not hit. That leaves us Breelith with your actual turn, please.
Oh, of course. Of
Mhm.
course. Okay, so they've already passed me, right? Like they're a good
I mean, the
15
person.
feet at least.
Yeah, they're at the end. 5,
Okay,
10, 15,
alright.
20, 25 feet.
And I can tell if they're on their way out.
Oh, yeah.
They're vamoosing.
They
Okay.
figure this is done,
Okay.
they're out, yeah.
May I ask how Sinister looks? If they look bloodied or
Yeah, they're bloodied.
hurt.
Yeah, they're down
Okay.
maybe a third of their
Alright.
usual luster.
Okay, just in case this gets hairy. This Breelith can't really help that much with attacking this thing.
What would you like to do?
She is going to. Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's. Yeah, because I can't cast that at a different level, but I can cast this at a different level. Let's cast Cure Wounds. So she will make her way back to Sinister.
Okay.
Relith will, because she has to touch Sinister.
There you go.
So she'll kind of head back, touch Sinister on the shoulder, and say, "Here you go." and give her cure wounds at 4th level, which will be 18. Should be 30 points of healing damage.
Jeez,
Healing not
damage. Oh
damage.
no.
Healing.
Damn it.
She's
not
fucked.
healing
She's
damage.
Just kidding.
30 points of healing.
Okay. Beautiful. She's almost. He's almost full health now.
Great.
Okay.
And that is all that she can do. So she is just going to kind of stay there beside Sinister.
Okay. Question?
She doesn't have a way to do that. Let me just make sure. Okay. Yeah, she doesn't have a way to.
Anything for breathers?
How far did I move, Dan? Do you remember? It
10
was
feet.
like what, 15?
10
feet.
10 feet.
Where's the guy at? That the
5,
The
10,
person in
15 feet
disguise.
away from you. You're right here.
You know what? No, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So Relith, you have that moment. You heal Sinister. Hand on Sinister. Oh, man, that was not good. Thanks, Relith. And as you do, you'll all kind of witness. There's a tiefling that ran around. They made it. They exited the mouth. They've run around the corner. They're the ones that have been trying to like pop into people's brains and dominate them. They fly with an unfathomable speed across the entire opening of the mouth and getting impaled about 15 feet up on a tooth.
Oh.
Slumping down, and around the corner,
Karma.
you all now see Drakkus. At a very slow, determined pace, she walks around the corner, and I'll just put up that image again for our viewers.
And this.
Are they going to be upset that we're breaking their toy?
You see, not really any expression, just an assessment of the scene. Shakes her head. Where were we? I'm so sorry. Let me get my notes super quick. Which one of you are the fools trying to use my technology? She looks over. She takes a moment and pauses on Eden. Eden, you can see her drawn to Drakkus, has a look of like rage and panic on their face. And you watch as Eden fights like she's teeth clenched, arms and muscles tight and shaking as her knee slowly starts to drop toward the ground before landing and seemingly against her will bows to Drakkus. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Ah, damn it!
Whee!
God.
Well, things will change a little. Of course, I was like, I'm not going to drag you all through everything else since we've already run a bit late. But thank you, players and viewers.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, thank you, Dan.
For almost giving me a heart
pleasure.
attack.
Sorry.
In a fun way.
Oh, good, good. That's the energy I'm going for. So that's good. You all are amazing. I love the way that you're navigating the battle and trying to like destroy the thing and overcome the challenges of not necessarily having a lot of things, like to just outright destroy a device. So I think that is beautiful. I'm also opening up some streams to try and go to. But you've been amazing. For anyone that's new here tonight, I hope you had a good time. I certainly did. You've been watching Extremis, our Saturday night Sky Pirate D&D campaign. Runs every Saturday, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Let me bring up our schedule here. We have a lot of other fun content. Nope, that's pulling from an ancient schedule. Please hold just for a moment. It does it every damn time, it feels like. I don't even know why bother. Why does it try and pull it from a cache file when I give it a specific location? I don't know. A lot of D&D. Got a new campaign at 9 to midnight time slot on Tuesdays. But most of ours are currently in that 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. time slot. You can see across the week. Paint by Minis on Thursday, so it's on hiatus for the holidays. Yeah, if you had fun, please consider giving us a follow, so you can be alerted when we go live with our exciting content. And at the very least, I hope to catch you all here next Saturday when we get a little more into, like, you know, are we going to get the technology destroyed or taken care of in time? Is this person going to take care of the technology? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they dangerous? I mean, they seem pretty dangerous. You know, what's happening? So join us next Saturday to get those answers. Had a lovely time with you all tonight. We're going to go ahead and raid folks that we've hopped in a time or two. Please consider giving a call Mad Bird raid once you get over there for some hype, branding, and support. And we will catch you all soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great night.
Good night.
Bye-bye.